Hey everybody, it's Josh Wilmoth, and I've got a special edition of Georgetown Leaders for you. Today, I've got Vicki Orcutt. She is the Executive Director with Faith in Action Georgetown. I asked her to come on today's show and talk a little bit about Faith in Action, what they're doing in the community, and what you guys may be able to do to help her and the nonprofit that she runs. So, Vicki, thanks for joining us. If you would, tell us a little bit more about Faith in Action.
Absolutely, Josh. Thank you so much for having us this morning. It's a pleasure to be here and share with the community. And so Faith in Action, we have been around for 19 years providing transportation for homebound seniors, those that no longer can drive or no longer afford a vehicle. We want to make sure that they stay connected to the community, that we can help them to maintain their independence and quality of life. They go to their doctor's appointments, grocery store, and personal errands all through our services.
Georgetown is a hotbed for the senior community. I know you guys are super busy and doing what you do. What did business look like and operations look like before COVID-19?
You're absolutely right that Georgetown is the magnet for seniors. We're double the national average, and I'm so glad we're here to be able to help. And so, yes, prior to COVID, transportation was about 170 rides a week. So last year we did a little over 13,000 rides, keeping our seniors connected. And so, as you can imagine, when they said stay home, stay safe, well, we stayed home and we stayed safe, because not only do we serve seniors who are that vulnerable population, but the average age of our volunteer is 68. And so we wanted to be sure and protect everybody. And so, as I said, transportation has ceased, just to the standpoint that, all the extra pieces are not taking place. But if you have a medical necessity ride, those are still happening.
13,000 rides. Did I hear that right?
Absolutely.
Wow. So you
Indeed.
must have a loyal base of volunteers that are dedicated to this community.
We do indeed. We serve a little over 900 seniors, and it takes at least half of that. So we have 400, close to 450 volunteers that keep the wheels rolling.
Wow. So with social distancing and not being able to interact with those clients of yours, what does business look like after COVID-19 and kind of during COVID-19 here? And how do you keep things going and staying connected with the community?
You hit it. How do we stay connected? Because it's not just rides that we provide at Faith in Action. We provide relationships. And so we know that staying connected with our seniors to the community also means keeping our volunteers engaged and staying connected with them. And so staff immediately went into what we called a needs assessment. We called our 900 clients and checked on every one of them, found out, where they were, what was happening, how could we support them, what questions do you have? And that was the interesting thing, is a lot of folks just weren't aware that of the different services that were available. What do I do in this time when I've come to you for a ride? And so that was the beauty, is, we've been around for 19 years. We know the different resources. We're connected. We have those coming into us. And so being able to provide somebody just the simple fact of, why don't you reach out to your doctor and see how they would handle that situation? Just giving that support to them, going through those particular conversations with them, or even from the standpoint of online groceries. They've never done that before, or they don't have the ability, the technology, then that's where we stepped in. And so staff was assisting from that standpoint, but we wanted to re-engage our volunteers. And so within all of that, we started looking at, okay, program development. How do we come up with something that can, still keep everybody connected? And so we launched the Buddy program. And so the Buddy program is such that folks can have a buddy, and the volunteers will call them twice a week, check on them to see how they're doing. And, is there anything that, they might need that we can, again, have a resource to help with? If someone is needing groceries, then we are able to order those online. So again, connecting that buddy with them that can order those online and go do curbside pickup. We're trying to continue to stay within, the physical distancing, and making sure that we can still assist our seniors, but keeping everybody safe.
Wow, I love how you were able to still keep the mission of the organization, and even though the challenges that we face here today, you were able to change it into something else with the buddy program. That's awesome, and such a valuable service for those that need it out there. During this whole process and changes and being flexible and keeping that mission part in mind, where did you find any kind of tips and tricks that maybe other nonprofits or small business owners might be able to glean from and learn from, from your encounters?
Absolutely. First off, one of the biggest things that helped us is, from the pivot standpoint and to still keep the presence of faith in action is we use a voice over IP phone system. And having that allowed us to be mobile and remote, but still giving the presence of faith in action. So, when you call somebody and you don't recognize a phone number, you may not answer that, right? Especially, in my case, mine shows up Bastrop. Well, why is somebody calling me from Bastrop? Why do I want to answer that phone call? But instead, with our voice over IP phone system, it allows us to still show faith in action. And everybody can also access that from their computers. And so they can answer their phones in real time. We're not having to call back and retrieve voice messages. So if there's folks out there that have not looked at voice over IP, then I would say they need to come and talk to Josh Wilmus' team, because they are awesome with that and have supported us through, and having our Nextiva phone system has been amazing in helping us through this time.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been awesome. And because we already had it and had it in place, it was just an easy transition. The other piece is, if you've not been working in the cloud, if you don't have your documents in the cloud, again, I know that's been, could be a challenge for some folks. If you've relied on them being on your desktop, and again, having to send your forces to their homes to be safe and, let them work from there. Us having the Microsoft platform of Teams, one of the offerings in there, again, that has allowed us to continue to move forth. And so if you don't have some type of cloud-based program, then yeah, I definitely, would look to that. And again, that's another offering that Josh's team at CTTS can offer. So, it's been great to have those technology pieces in place. And just like everybody else that's, they've been going to a Zoom meeting or using Teams, which it, has the video option as well. It's just that connectivity with your team. And if you're able to take that to the next step and work with your clients or your volunteers, however it is, have that connectivity, have that face-to-face. We're social beings. We love being able to see each other, and we see so much in the eyes and the smiles and just how warming and that is, and just how it keeps us connected through this time.
Absolutely. And thank you for mentioning voice over IP and Microsoft Teams. One of the things that we love with Faith in Action is our relationship with you guys. And we love giving back to the community, and love that you guys were able to take advantage of technology, even though no one knew this was coming down the pipe. We dealt with it, and here we are, and we're taking advantage of the tools that you guys allowed us to put in place. So we appreciate that. If we'll talk about a little bit about, I know that social distancing and a lot of events are up in the air, but throughout the year, I know you've got choral concerts and different events bringing in volunteers and all the rides you're doing. What does that look like from an event standpoint, moving forward, and what can we look forward from Faith in Action moving, in the coming months and years?
Absolutely. So none of us have a crystal ball. And so, a lot of this is still, put together contingency plan. And so our concert was scheduled for April 30th, and we did a retro on Facebook. So that was kind of cool. And it was great to see the interaction, between everybody who was watching that. But we still have the concert planned. We are shooting for a September 17th date. And we're having to have that as a loose date because our venue typically has, anywhere from 500 to 700 folks. Well, we have not heard what those settings look like yet. And so if we have to go to the contingency plan of bringing in one choir at a time to record their session, and we have a live event from that standpoint, or if we have to just do totally virtual, we're already talking about what that looks like. So there will be a concert, and the choirs have told me there will be something, and so I'm excited to see what that looks like, and just to bring the creativity to it. That's been the other great thing from all of this is we've been able to pull from deep down those creative sides that many of us may not realize that we have. And so yes, that's where we're looking at from the concert standpoint. And from the rides, returning to rides, right now our leadership team is looking at what that looks like to return to a safe environment for our staff, for our volunteers, for our seniors that we serve. We want to make sure that everybody continues to stay safe. And so, thankfully, there's a lot of resources out there to look at, and then the continuation of the buddy program. This may not just be a short term. It may be that we continue with it as things stabilize, and even to the point that this may be what keeps people connected. And so we're here for our seniors. We want to continue to adjust how it is that's needed, that keeps everybody safe. And at the same time, I don't think I've said this within the conversation here, is one of the big things is social isolation. And so in some ways, I don't like the word social distancing. I prefer to use physical distancing, because social isolation is a very true happening, especially in the senior community. When you live alone, which over 50% of the seniors that we serve do live alone, you can become so disconnected that there becomes a spiral, not only in your physical health, but in your mental health. And when depression sets in, that is really a tough one to get out of. And everybody needs to know that there is someone out there that cares about them. And that's what Faith in Action is about.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I love the way you put that. And I think everybody out there can relate to that in one way, shape, form, or fashion. And I think it's great that you keep it top of mind and refer to it that way. If I can, I want to go back to the choral concert. If somebody is interested in given some time, some talent, some treasure towards that event, no matter what it's going to look like, how would they go about doing that?
They could get in touch with me. The best way is director@faithinactiongt.org or 512-868-9544. And we'll be sure to get them connected and let them know we have sponsorships that are available if companies are wanting to sponsor, and we have lots of ways that we will continue to promote your business as a result of that sponsorship. And then we also have individuals who have sponsored as well. The concert itself, depending again what that's going to look like. We know that there is going to be some ways that people can be connected. And so just continue. I think the other great way to know and to stay up to what's going on is to go to our website, which is faithinactiongt.org. And if you go there, that's where the latest information will be. We're also on Facebook. That's another place that we're keeping everybody updated. But it's a great event. It's been a community tradition ever since we started, and it's area churches that come together and just bring an uplifting night of music, and to see community come together, to see reunions. That's one of the things that I think is a joy, is to go out in the lobby and see people greeting each other and saying, oh, I haven't seen you since this time last year. Or the choirs, they love hearing each other. They hear their own choirs, or they enjoy singing in a choir, but they also enjoy hearing choirs. And to be able to sit back and hear the beauty that's here within our community is just a really special night.
Awesome. And I have to say that I was able to attend last year with my family. It was a great event. There was a ton of folks there. Got to see a variety of music. And it was a good time had by all, and obviously supporting such a great organization. Vicki, thank you so much for your time today. And folks, please reach out to Vicki and the Faith in Action staff if you have any questions, if you'd like to volunteer, your time or any of your treasure towards the organization. And if you know of somebody that's in need that maybe is needing to leverage the buddy program, or when life gets back to normal, if you will, that maybe needs a ride to the grocery store or to a doctor's appointment, keep Faith in Action in mind. They do wonderful things in the community. They've got tons of testimonials on their website that talk to that, and how there's lots of folks that leverage and can't do what they need to alone, and so they need to lean on somebody in the community to help them out, and Faith in Action fills that. So Vicki, thanks again for taking your time to come on here today, and we look forward to continuing working with you guys and looking at all the great things you're doing within the Georgetown community.
Thank you, Josh. It's been a pleasure. And I do wish blessings on everybody, and that we continue to stay safe, and we're going to get through this together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Great. Thank you. We'll see you.
Bye-bye.